KraaLD XMASS Plastic Waste Safari. I here acknowledge the decade of my political craft engagement with plastic waste through my praxis KraaLD. XMASS is a short video made for Opening the Bin second online conference and is capturing a socio-material narrative that records my plastic waste safari, explored and performed in my garden in Kent, UK. Before we move on to unpacking my behind-the-scene journey, I would like to state that although I recycle well, I have bypassed and minimized my recycling waste flow for a decade. So you see, I use my own disposal for my prosumer installations and design research. As much as putting out the garbage may feel like an ordinary and mundane aspect of life, it is a call for modernism, cultural and material performance. Thus, putting out the weekly garbage on the curb for collection may feel like an ordinary and everyday aspect of Western society. However, it is a well-rehearsed cultural, political performance of the state. The hidden acts of mature municipal solid waste systems follow a sequence of multiple services that deploy tripartite collection in UK, transportation, storage, sorting technologies, thermal treatments, and biological techniques which frame the material waste values and assumptions. I support waste-centric change, from perceiving plastic waste as an undesired material towards creating new relations towards plastic waste and raising an aesthetically positive, reusable, valuable resource to the broader public. My visual exploration strategy promotes plastics reuse and craft tactics. Under term design disposal, which I formulate as designing from and with discarded plastic things. The collection of my disposal requires long-term storage. I use my garage for this and perform at home purification techniques, washing bottles and bottle tops. My reuse tactics are like recycling, is time-consuming and resource-requiring endeavor. Typically, I select plastic things by hand and then color sorting prior to any art or participatory engagement. The next step is followed by preparing bottle tops and bottles for installation. I often use a hand drill, hand cutter, heavy-duty puncher and scissors. In this case, besides bottle tops, I'm reusing, in a way, upcycled fruit bottles from my old project. These bottles were pre-cut by stakeholders 5 years ago. Nevertheless, the bottles I collected and accumulated 8 years ago, and they show here the resilience and beauty of plastic disposal. Finally, this safari has discovered my site-specific XMASS tree in the garden. The XMASS was named to highlight the mass of exalted waste created by society. I introduced the audience to the joyful plastic things and my ethos of positive waste motivation, which equates and represents plastic disposal and plastic things as an equal participants in XMASS art site-specific project in progress. I had started in late August 2020 during the first COVID-19 wave, making art installation in my garden. The project, initially named Tree Without a Cure, honors medical NHS staff and is represented by the rainbow. The totem core is a Victorian plum tree with a fungal disease that stands amid my garden without a cure. Infectious, I mutilated branches and wrapped them in rainbow colors with my plastic disposal. Thus, the plasticized tree became COVID-19 totem as the virus is dormant in the tree trunk. Here, I acknowledge the globally infected by virus pandemic and planetary by plastic pollution pandemic for all of us. It seems, after all, that we are all plasticized, alike in a contemporary fairy tale for the next 1,000 years. While in making, I am taking a refuge in Bradotti's bio-centered philosophy. She challenges the prevailing standard of post-anthropocentric agenda and the assertion of advanced technology that man, quoting, is the measure of all things. The bio-centered egalitarianism is a philosophy of affirmative becoming, which activates a nomadic subject into sustainable processes of transformation. Bradotti. For the sake of clarity, I interpret here as the way to define the ecofeminist environmental justice around plastic pollution, a she-fox wake-up call for planetary and equality rights for all life. In XMASS installation, I introduced the weaving with new colorful cable ties, connecting plastic bottles disposal with the ongoing rise in plastic single-use production. In specific, with escalated production of medical protection equipment for ongoing pandemic. Additionally, the new and upcycled mix technique creates messy entanglement, highlighting multi-species relations and interaction and places along the materialist lines of becoming as a deep transformation of self and society. Quoted Bradotti. Thank you for watching my video and keep on with reuse and upcycling.